Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today I'm picking a song from the void of my YouTube comments, a void so black, it's just as dark as my carefully applied eyeliner. Today's suggestion comes at us from Matthew. 2019, an experimental hip-hop group called Clipping released a very horror-themed album. There existed an addiction to blood. Would love for you to check out Nothing is Safe. Well, that's what we're going to look at. Clipping's Nothing is Safe. Let's go. Very minimal so far. I like how playful the beat is on top of the quarter notes.
Only homies around, everyone here is crew. Something foul in the air, something feeling askew. Wind is in the pipes, it's that whistle calling for you. Don't holler, it's cool. Windows boarded and sealed, doors are bolted and locked. Product cooking on pace, weaponry fully stocked. Bodies sleeping in shifts, other bodies keep watch. Bullets of an antibody cop running.
We got this slow fade in on this shrill note.
Something shot from the trees. Went straight through the front door. Homie dropped to his knees. Blood seeping from his neck as he struggled to breathe. Wooden floor stained wet, gets soft the more that he bleeds. He leaves, believe, didn't know when something was coming, but it creeping on the come up, now it's right up in your face. Face it, let it resonate up in your bone a minute. When you shiver, make a sliver big enough for it to have a space. Ripped, life, slipping away, maybe you can make it out with just a little bit of grace. But it truly doesn't give a fuck about the fear you feeling. It is here to make you understand that nothing is safe. Nothing is safe. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is safe. Nothing to pray for. Nothing is safe. Nothing is. Cut the light and stay low. All is quiet and still.
Yeah, we got a new panning idea going on here.
Scent of death in the air.
The rhythmic cadence in this is very interesting, especially with the rhyming scheme kind of getting tossed up, whether it's every 4 lines or every 2.
Always everyone gonna be fine. Phone that no one should call starts to ring in one time. All the homies' eyes slide to it, then the wall split from the outside. The air rushes in, it's cold as fuck. Bullets slapping like hail. My homie struck down, the mission has failed. The wood is split, splintered, chandelier falls and smashes. Hard glass and steel everywhere, and every throat screams in protest. You all are dying, and really will anyone care? Truth like death comes for everyone. Barely had to summon what was coming. It was creeping on the come up, now it's right up in your face. Face it, let it resonate up in your bone a minute. When you shiver, make a sliver big enough for it to have a space. Ripped, life, slipping away, maybe you can make it out with just a little bit of grace. But it truly doesn't give a fuck about the fear you feeling. It is here to make you understand that nothing is safe. Nothing is safe. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is safe. Nothing to pray for. Nothing is safe. Nothing is.
Yeah, I like where this is going.
But you already knew that. Thought the click up brought you some safety up in this pack. But that didn't add up, back up, stand up, strike a pose. What you get up, that's what they like, you suppose. They go rack up, stack up, that stuff that you stole. But the fact of status wrapped up in black coat caskets cannot be ignored. Running so fast, it had an award. Homies got gas for cash from that score. Y'all could've made a dash just after one more. So you put up on the gas and smash round the corner. Only one man was sent to the coroner. Wasn't part of the plan, but damn, the fast forward whip was too quick to flip and fast forward. With the past smashed every wall, pillar, and floorboard. Ashes to ashes, dust in the lung. Fire now on everything, gasoline been poured. Last piece of action for you succumb. Just catch a glance of what could have done. There's something about how we walk, remind you of someone. You look and see a gun, a man with no face, a golden halo that could be the sun. Long ago you saw me, what was coming, it was creeping on a come up, now it's right up in your face. Face it, let it resonate up in your bone a minute. When you shiver, make a sliver big enough for it to have a space. Ripped,
dude, this part comes in so hard.
With just a little bit of grace, but it truly doesn't give a fuck about the fear you feeling. It is here to make you understand that nothing is safe. Nothing is safe. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is safe. Nothing to pray for. Nothing is safe. Nothing is.
We got that panning idea come back. We got like an echoing dog bark too, which is interesting. Maybe not necessarily a dog barking, but something barking. Because it also sounds like it could be like a human sort of chant or bark as well. Yeah, very cool. I think this is the second time we've checked out clipping. The first time a proper reaction though. I know we did it on a live stream, but I'm not sure if we've done it other than the one live stream. But this is the second time that I've been quite enthusiastic about the song. There's actually a lot of really cool things going on in here underneath the lyrics, which of course I believe are the focal point, as is pretty standard for the genre. But there's a lot of subtle touches in the electronic element that I want to touch on first before we get into some of the lyrics. So we have this constant downbeat strike, and I think that's important because it lays sort of it plays the idea of metronome throughout pretty much the entire song. But I think it's also interesting that the metronome is an auditory creation of time. And the song is very much telling a story chronologically, almost seemingly looking at a single event. And it's interesting to have this constant reminder that the time is existing, around the song, even though we have all these fantastic, story elements going on and a really engaging story on top of it. There's this idea that there's, time's always moving. I really like that. I'm not sure if that's intentional. Maybe I'm reading into that, but I like that element. There are beats that get added on top of it, but that ting, 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 that just harsh reminder of, almost like a second hand moving. I'm not sure what the BPMs here is. It's a lot higher than 60. I think it would have been cool if we could have lined it up on every second of the song. That would be pretty cool. But the song is definitely a lot faster, and I don't think the song would have worked at such a slow BPM. However, if it's working on 120, though, I think that would work very well. I'm kind of interested. I might have to check that out later and see if it is running 120 BPM or something else. There's some really cool beat ideas going on rhythmically. I wouldn't say that there's a lot of interesting tones that are utilized outside of the big chorus event, but I do like some of the rhythmic playfulness. It provides a bit of bounce and direction to what's going on in the section, and then there's the subtle atmospheric ideas like that the panned pitter patter, the tuku 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 tuku, and it goes back and forth. There's just a lot of real nice atmospheric ideas that exist in the verses that just help differentiate them and add extra elements of interesting sounds going on. The chorus to me though is the big moment, and I think first of all we just have this super wide, massive, bass it, super distorted, super compressed, just huge. And the cool thing is that that's the attention grabber. That's what that's what's most listeners are gonna be checking out first. It comes in hard, it comes in loud, it comes in wide, and you're just like, this, you can't avoid listening to it. The vocals even dodge out for a second while it does its little pickup into that first downbeat. And that first big note after the eighth notes or whatever, that's going to be your downbeat of one. It actually has a pickup into that, and the vocals aren't doing anything there, I think. Both of the times it came in, it really allows the focus to be on it. But the cool thing is that it's not working alone. If you pay really close attention, you can hear an octave higher, maybe it's a fifth higher, maybe it's a harmony. It's a thinner, more narrow tone but it's providing some extra width musically, not tonally, to that line. And it provides this extra punch, this extra push, this extra ness to it. If it had just been the bass tone, I don't think it would have been as awesome, as epic as an introduction of a tone. You still have the width, you still have the power, but having that extra note above it to give it some range into the treble area really helps a lot at pushing this tone and allowing it to cut through everything that's going on. It's just, it's done so well. And then I don't remember if it was this part or the part after. We get a rhythmically interesting hi-hat kind of thing going on. Lots of playfulness with 16th notes and 8th notes, quarter notes, just really playing around with rhythmic elements. And it starts to get sort of like a hip hop or trip hop kind of hi-hat stuff going on. Love it. I love it. It's just really cool stuff. And it works so well to counter these big, long, held out notes, to put more energy into the percussive area. Not to mention that the rapping at this point is just, it's starting to get to that rapid fire section. There's a lot more passion and drive and push in the vocal delivery in this part. There's just so much energy in these choruses, and I think it is fantastic. And then, of course, the atmosphere of all this is sort of impending doom. It's not overbearing, but you can hear tension in every aspect of the song. There's very little chordal resolution going on. And the chords that are being used, the notes that are being used, the relationships they have to the notes around them, it's creating this song that's full of dread, which I think sets up the story perfectly. And I think it's also interesting. The story seems to be about. I'm going off of a few lines that stood out to me. There's nothing supernatural in here, which I think is interesting, at least from my perspective. It seems to be. There was one line I think that alluded me to some sort of drug element. Product cooking at a pace, weaponry fully stocked, bodies sleeping in shifts, other bodies keeping watch. I don't know, maybe I'm not like super well versed in this kind of stuff, but oh snap. The very first line of the song is everyone's safe and sound. And the very last line of the song is nothing is safe. Everyone is safe, nothing is safe. It's an interesting reversal of ideas. And the song does a good job of illustrating why that opening line was actually, a false belief. But so I believe that we have some sort of group that are not doing legal things, creating drugs, I presume. They all have weapons around to make sure, whatever. And maybe there's a rival group who maybe it's their area to make drugs for and sell drugs at, and they're not happy with them coming into their turf. And so there's a shootout that happens. I think this is pretty much the first verse. Something about, bullets flying through the walls. One part said the wall opened up. My mind went to some sort of explosion. So it's this sort of war going on between drug groups. And I think it's really interesting because we have the Halloween kind of paper bag thing going on here. Oh, it's not a paper bag. It's a barrel. But they've cut it out like a jack-o'-lantern. So that's interesting. I don't know why I didn't pick up on that the first time. Yeah, so we have that. And then, I was introduced to this. What did he say? Matthew, I think it was. Yeah. Said that it was a horror-themed album, which kind of put me in that mind. The album's called There Existed an Addiction to Blood, which immediately puts me in the mind of stuff like vampires. So I thought that was interesting. It put me into that mind, and I'm over here expecting a horror story, and a lot of the words and verbiage and way that the story is told, especially with these like lo-fi 70s kind of words being put up on the screen, it feels like a supernatural horror story. I could see the same aesthetic being used to describe, a bunch of teens going to a camp and getting slaughtered one by one. The same sounds in the music, the same vocal delivery, the same visual attention to detail. So it like kind of tricks me into taking it this way, but then it's talking about real life incidents. And it kind of subverts this thing. I think horror does a fantastic job of talking about real things in subversive ways. I think horror as a genre just does a really good job about doing stuff like that. Um, and I think once again, it's being utilized in a way to do that. They're talking about, real life violence in a way that definitely could fit into some horror vibes and is, in a sense, entertainment. Just a fantastic job of doing that. Yeah, Oh, and I do want to talk about some of the cadence stuff here. So he starts off rapping in pretty standard four group sets where we have rhyming at the end of the second and fourth line. But he changes it up rather quickly. Starts introducing what I would call like, I don't know. I don't know if there's a term for this. I mean, maybe he's just adding more lines, but because of the increased speed of the vocal delivery, it's, doesn't feel like an extra line, but like an interline. It's still rhyming on lines 2 and 4, but now we have a line between 3 and 4, and he's just like speeding right past it. And then we start rhyming on every other one. So lines 1 and 2 rhyme, and 3 and 4 rhyme. And then we get to the chorus, and the end of every line is rhyming. And sometimes we're rhyming with words from, 4 lines ago, where maybe we've changed the rhyming scheme, but we're moving back up. So we're doing like an A, B, B, A. We're pulling that A back out again. It's just really fascinating to hear that. But then also we have to look at the rhythmic complexity when he chooses to hold notes out, what syllables he chooses to hold out, when he chooses to just, rapid fire, spit out these syllables at a crazy pace and move right through them, which helps with the story, because usually when the story is getting to its most intense sections, that's when the speed of syllabic delivery is at its highest. And there's not just an intensity in the story itself, there's an intensity in the delivery of it. This would be a part in metal where possibly the singer starts screaming, employing a fry scream or adding distortion onto their cleans to add intensity to the delivery to really sell this part of the song. And in rap, he's using the just the speed that rap has access to, just to like throw it out, and it is just enthralling on every level. Clipping, like I said, has entertained me. I think is a good word. Both of the times I've listened to them, I still don't know if I necessarily enjoy it on a casual listen, but it's a group that I probably should dive into and see how it works for me. Because so far I've had positive interaction with them. I just haven't really found anything that super clicked, but I'm going to toss this into my folder and maybe check some more out later. All right, those are my thoughts on Clipping's Nothing Is Safe. I think it's a fantastic track and utilizes a lot of what it does, a lot of what the genre excels at, to amplify what the artist wanted to portray and do with the song. This is where you guys come in, though. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this or not. Anything that stuck out to you. Anything that you in particular enjoyed, or maybe did not enjoyed. Let me know. Put those comments down there. Above the comment box, there is a description box. In there is a link for Linktree. Takes you to all the links related to this channel. You can find my Discord, Twitter, Patreon, special selection, email, all sorts of stuff in there above that. If you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC. We'll be looking at 2 more spooky songs, just like today, and just like yesterday, and just like the day before. I mean, you guys know the drill. It's what we're doing. The week's half over. You guys got the pattern already. Why do I repeat myself at the end of every video? Alright, until next time, remember to be critical but not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.